All right, start with roll.
Sorry, it's not me, it's you.
Nope, that's fine.
Monday.
Okay, thanks. We'll start with roll call.
So 8:03. Director Lisa Vincent,
Present.
Treasurer Mel Blimke,
Present.
Vice Chair Lorraine Vincent,
Present.
Councillor McDonald, Councillor Legree, Chair Ben Oaks,
Present.
Chair, we have quorum.
Awesome. Call to order. Yeah, it's 8:03 there. We'll do our land acknowledgement. As we gather, we would like to, on behalf of the downtown Renfrew BIA and our community, that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history. And we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Any declaration of interest? No, we're good. Can I have a motion to approve today's agenda? Lisa and Lorraine, all in favor? Beauty, thank you. Can I have a motion to accept or any errors and omissions from last meeting? No, it all looks good. Can I have an approval for March 10th meetings? Lorraine, Mel, all in favor? Thank you very much. Number 7, business arising from the March 10th vacancies. Lisa?
Thank you, through Chair. I attended the Economic Development Advisory Committee meeting last week and had put forward a motion to present to the board concern about more vacancies downtown. I'll read what I presented to the board. All vacancies that impact our community's economic outlook should be considered, should be considered of concern. Elevated vacancy rates, particularly in downtown areas, raise significant concerns as they can result in decreased economic activity, negatively influence perceptions of safety, and diminish the vibrancy of the downtown core. This decline can have repercussions for business, residents, and the community as a whole. Over the past 2.5 years, vacancies in the DRBIA area have surged from 4 to 16, with 13 of these situated directly on the main street, all highly visible, some an eyesore. This trend poses a serious threat to our community as a whole. What actions can we implement to reverse this decline and entice sustainable businesses that will strengthen downtown as the heart of Renfrew? Some municipalities in Ontario have enacted vacant building bylaws and registries to tackle issues such as neglect, public nuisances, and to promote redevelopment. These regulations often require property owners to register their vacant buildings and keep them maintained to specific standards. The owner would be required to register vacant properties within a designated time frame from the date of vacancy. Upon registration, a fee would be imposed on the owner to cover the costs associated with the program and its enforcement and administration costs. This fee would include a predetermined number of annual building inspections to ensure compliance and identify any violations. Fines would be levied for any infractions with escalating penalties for repetitive non-compliance. The vacant buildings bylaws would establish a legally enforceable framework for the community. These bylaws are designed to prevent neglect and mitigate the negative effects it can have on our community. Additionally, they often set specific standards for the upkeep of vacant properties, which include minimum maintenance requirements, securing the building, maintaining liability insurance, and properly managing utilities. So there are some Ontario municipalities that currently have vacant building bylaws, including Ottawa, Toronto, Welland, Timmins, Brantford, St. Catharines, Hamilton, North Bay, and London. And this initiated a really good discussion around the table with the board. And essentially a motion was put forward to have bylaw as well as our building planner at our next meeting to educate our board as to what's currently in place, and also to ask any questions about instituting something along these lines. So, as I say, it encouraged a really good discussion. Everyone was very supportive of the idea of resolving some of these issues. Some great ideas came up with regards to the landlords who are actively trying to fill their vacancies and how, as different entities, we can support them through the BIA and chamber and the town. But I know from our discussions around the table previously that the big concern is the ones that are not doing that. The ones that are using their building as a write-off, as a tax break, that sort of thing. So this is a policy and a bylaw that can give them, the town, some teeth to go out and enforce some of these things and make sure that they're adhering to policy and building code. So any questions from anybody?
No, Sharon, no? Awesome. I think the only 2 cents, so I'll just pitch in, this is phenomenal. Tammy Logan could be a sense of resource. She had brought this to us some time ago, right? With what she saw out in Vancouver. But yeah, this is what we do. This is long overdue. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And just as an aside for us, from a BIA point of view, some of the legwork I did looking into this is there are some communities that have instituted a way to at least improve somehow what the windows, so you're not looking at paper.
Yeah.
One idea I really took away that I loved was a gentleman, it was maybe Chamber of Commerce, I'm not sure, it wasn't a BIA, but located some archived photos of the downtown when it was, first established, had those photos blown up into boards that could be then inserted into the vacant building, so that at least, it's creating a little more attractive atmosphere. And it's also then showing the history of the town. So maybe an opportunity for us to look at what that might cost. I mean, I certainly, as marketing chair, I could see what we could find out with regards to what that would cost us. And then hopefully down the road, we have no use for the boards, and maybe we could do something like a fundraising auction with them or whatever. So
yeah. Awesome. No?
And through you, Chair, I'm just wondering if we could reach out to maybe the museum and have them do some kind of a small little display in one of the windows and giving them support and some exposure as well downtown. Then it would probably not cost us anything.
Sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Right? Sky's the limit. Anything else on this topic? No, we're good. Awesome, thank you. Delegations and announcements. Any?
Yeah, I have a couple announcements if no one else does, Chair.
Floor's yours.
Go through your chair. So on March 27th, I believe the date was, I attended a networking luncheon at Quail Creek. So I believe they have them quarterly. I can't remember if they're monthly or quarterly, but we're always invited to the networking luncheons, and it's all different business people and organizations that are invited to these. So it's always a great event. So I was at that. We have sent 800 of our rack cards up to the Ottawa Valley Tourism Association, and they will be shipping them out to 14 visitor information centers. So even once we get the downtown maps done, we'll be able to send those up. So the next time to send stuff up to them is in June. We had 2 ribbon cuttings in March. So we had the opening of Bloom and Beauty, and then the new location of the mental care, Practice Loving Caring. Mona Lisa celebrated 30 years in business, and we have a new business opening on May 1st, which is Proper Pets.
Number 9, Treasurer's Report. Mr. Blumpy.
All right, thank you. Good morning, and through you, Chair, we'll take a look at a relatively quiet month. So looking on that spreadsheet under March, you're gonna see the total for that category is 5479.60. And if you want to see a bit of a breakdown on that, if you were to go back over to the next page, the summer expense. So our fixed cost of that being the salaries, bank fees, and rent, we're pretty consistent at 5308.11. The balance of that was made up of office expenses, and that one total shows you the breakdown of that. So you have the antivirus software at 74.58. We had the AGM ticket for one at 30. We had a Zoom expense 242.84 and a Canva credit back. So I just want for full disclosure of that. So we had total office expenses 171.49, which brings you your 54.79.60. We had one expense in admin and promotion. We had the marketing expense of 33.90, and again, if you sort of resource back to that, those were the flowers for Mona Lisa. Thank you, and sorry for not remembering that. And $1,000 in events and activities, which was our Hello Purchase promotion for Show Your Love. So that being said, the month came in at 65.13.50. Everything's in line. And I'll open it up to any questions or concerns.
Anything on the floor? No? Awesome. Can I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report? Lisa? Lorraine, all in favor? Thank you very much. Number 10, Chamber of Commerce report.
All right, so on Wednesday, sorry, let me see here. So they're gonna have the Mayors and ECDEV Breakfast Networking event, and it's scheduled for Tuesday, May 13th at the MIAF Center beginning at 7:30. So we've got that one there. We've got on Wednesday, April 23rd. So one of their newest chamber members, Informix Technology Group, is hosting a lunch and learn on cyber attacks. This topic would be as follows: why cybersecurity matters. Join them for an eye-opening conversation on critical points of online security in the digital landscape. And this event is free to attend. They also have an after-hours networking event, which will be held on Thursday, May 1st at Renfrew Castle on Gillen Road. And they're again now selling their chamber stickers, which are now available for the June draw. And I have a list here of any of the prizes and bits for anybody that would like the stickers. And I believe they're still $5.
Awesome, thank you. Move to number 11, council report.
Thank you, Chair, through you. Right now, as you're all probably well aware, we're dealing with the budget. There's some talk about trying to get it 8 to 9%. I don't know if the math adds up for that. That would need severe cuts to levels of service, and I don't think there's an appetite for that. So I'll just leave that at that. It still has to be sorted out. The trail that they're working on, Amanda Springer, manager, is they're looking for sponsorships if people want to put money out for benches, picnic tables, and all that sort of stuff. So that's at the east end of town. And I think Wanda attached the letter with regard to the post-transition non-eligible recycling. That's through Amanda Springer too. She'll come next month. I'm just giving you a quick overview of it, and she'll be able to answer specific questions, but it's going to impact the downtown. I think there's 169 different locations that won't be eligible for recycle pickup as of 2026. So in terms of the impact, you're looking at a 2.5% levy just to deal with that. And that levy is not just to the businesses, that's for all of town. So again, in terms of appetite, I don't think there's any, that's a big pill to swallow, so 2.5%, but there are options. One, we can discontinue the service, and it relies on individual businesses to look after recycling it or maybe transporting over to the landfill. There's also, it can be a separate waste levy that's being taken place now with some of these surrounding jurisdictions where there's going to be another levy attached to downtown businesses if they want it looked after. Or you could, we can go jointly with other jurisdictions too. The other one that someone brought up the other day was perhaps maybe 2 containers downtown where people can, if they want to recycle, bring their recycled articles over to the containers, have one on either side of the road and at different locations maybe, and maybe that's something that can be looked after. So there's different options. And Amanda can touch on them more when she comes in, and she'll probably have a lot There's a lot of stuff that's still in play right now, but she'll probably have more answers to questions at that point in time, okay? But it's gonna impact downtown businesses. And what I'd like to look, and after we talk to Amanda, is this maybe wonder if we can get the information out, whether it's an email, and we have all the options available to get some feedback from businesses for their input. So that's ultimately the long strategy. There's no 911 situation here. We have room to work. And again, once Amanda's done her presentation next month, we can start to talk about different options. Okay. And that's it.
This is just for recycling.
Yes,
Yeah.
but thank you.
Want to make sure that
Yeah,
we're
just
not
for,
waste.
just for
Yeah.
recycling. And again, it's a it's basically 2% levy impact on 170 businesses. So, yeah.
But there's no time frame right now.
There's a time frame, but it's in 2026, so we have lots of time to sort it out.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, wonderful. Questions? Wonderful, great, thank you. You want to, Lisa, do you want to expand further, or did you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Thank you, through you, Chair. As mentioned, I was at the meeting last week, and there was a few things that were brought up in other presentations, and I'll just give a little bit of a highlight where it might apply to us. Currently, well, the Algonquin Trail came up, the county is looking to find it more on the west end, so but we've had that as one of our topics with regards to the signing, and I did explain to the board that we are currently looking at signs to put up along the trail to see what the pricing and that sort of thing is going to be at this point. And so they're aware of what we're doing at our end. There's also called a hike program that the county is going to be launching. I think they're targeting May, but at this point it's a CIP program through the county. And with it, nonprofit organizations can apply for it. And it includes also agriculture, accessibility grants, affordable housing, energy efficiency, brownfields, facade signs, property, outdoor landscaping and restoration is another one of them. One of them is including is art and murals within Renfrew County, environmental concerns and trail improvements. So those are all applicable categories for this county CIP. So maybe an opportunity for us when I've clicked on the art mural thing, if we do look at doing something for the vacant buildings. And that was really sort of the big thing that might apply to us. Jacob made a presentation, and the town is looking at selling surplus land and trying to attract new businesses with that. And the Roots in Renfrew, he's working with the powers that be to get that website and Instagram up and running for economic development and tourism. So yeah, that's kind of the Coles Notes version of the meeting. So if anyone has any questions.
No? Awesome, thank you. We'll hop into the event and promotion and all the, attraction and awareness board. No?
Yes, thank you, and through you, Chair. So we've gone ahead and we presented it at the AGM. I think now that it's the time to create those critical steps to move the project forward. So what I see happening next, and which is kind of few things will depend on it, is just to make sure that we get the town's blessing and that we're able to locate those spots at Mattaway where we can set up, and at Low Square as well. Once we get that done, I'm working on finalizing the advertising marketing plan to get out to those potential out of town sponsorship opportunities, as well as our own membership. So again, if we can sort of maybe start setting some deadlines to get these pieces in place, that we can move this forward. We're into April. We'd like to get the posts up more sooner than later. So Hannah, I'm not sure exactly what kind of a turnaround time we can expect, but
Yeah, but it would have to go to
It
council,
would,
so
okay.
I think it would, so my recommendation would be to get into the clerk. She can get that sort of free to come to council with your request. And I believe that Andrea would probably be part of that, or Eric, I'm actually not sure who would, from a staff component, just in terms of the infrastructure component of it, like putting it in
Right.
and that sort of thing.
Okay.
So I would reach out to Carolyn directly, and then she can kind of get that set up for you for the proper approval process.
Okay. And so
Not yet.
Wanda, I'm sorry,
Through you, Chair, I'm just wondering, do you wanna maybe come and do a quick delegation, but talk to the
Yes.
clerk about that?
absolutely.
Just to inform them what it's about.
Yeah.
Prior to the vote taking place, and it doesn't have to be the 10 minutes, but something,
No. Yeah,
yeah, just to
It'd
remind.
be good for the public as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
that's a great idea.
Yeah.
So we'll coordinate with with Wanda or through Wanda then to get this done, so. And that's kind of where we would leave it at this point.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Any questions for Mel? No? Great. Lorraine, downtown map?
Thank you, Ben, through you, Chair. So where I'm at with that is the last I heard from Kimberly, it's the last week of March. She was to go forward with what I presented to you guys, that bit of the map. Something a little bit stronger, more presentable, so that Wanda and I could basically mock up the pamphlet and then go forward, sharing it with our members to get sponsorship. And then I've asked her to give herself a little bit of time at the end, so if there's anything that we would like to critique or change or add to the map. I was hoping to hear from her last week, so if I don't hear from her soon, I'm gonna reach out to her again and hopefully see that, and then I guess Wanda and I will move forward with adding all the information onto the pamphlet, so hopefully I'll have that next time to show you guys and get approval before we go to the printers with it.
Phenomenal.
That's about that.
Questions? Wonderful. Want to keep it rolling with music in the square?
Yeah, so I have confirmed two artists, like one's a duo, one's another just single artist. I haven't had a chance to go up to our members that are musicians, because I'd like to give them the opportunity as well to take part in it. And so kind of my plan is to do 1 month that I'm gonna pick some people, or we will, and then we'll go with Alan Wright for the other month with his good contacts in music. Just kind of wondering where we're at with sponsorship. And
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, and I'm not gonna give you the excuses. I don't have it. I'm behind. So I just gotta fix the problem. That's. Leave it at that.
Do you usually get sponsors for?
This is a new program.
Okay,
And we don't have any budget.
right.
And it does fit a nice, hey, you wanna take up some space?
Sure.
It's a whole summer long program.
Mhm.
And there's some definite sponsors that fit the criteria. Right, opposed to just. Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah, what are you looking for in terms of to cover costs?
$2,000
For,
For the summer.
summer.
for the summer, what if for individual nights, like are you looking for sponsorship? Can you break it down to individual nights or the month or something like that?
So the easiest one,
Yeah,
you're gonna get one sponsor.
Yeah.
Done deal.
Yeah.
Right? And there's one and a half, two that I still need to have conversations with. At the end of the day, there's even. We could probably, in all honesty, we could move money around to get this thing going, and we just recoup it at the end. Through sponsorship or something, but we want to get money up front. And if it's needed, yeah, sure, you get some guys. Hey, you do week 1 and 2 and 3, and then somebody else. But all those conversations that need to happen after I've at least gone out and gotten 3 no's from my 2 people. Right? They are not on board. We can't get them. Okay, so now we go to plan B. And we're in this position because I am behind. Mel?
Thanks, and through you. Both. I think it's a great opportunity for our service members, because it seems a lot of our promotions we're targeting, like mostly retailer or the restaurants. So there's a chance for those members that don't usually get to be in the spotlight, that chance. So yeah, I for for sure think it would be worth our while to solicit from them.
So just, like we're piggybacking on what I did back in end of Q3 or start of Q4 or something like this, where went around to service groups, insurance, lawyers, blah, 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 just trying to make a connection and saying, hey, like, let's get you involved. And, are you going to be the sponsor for Freaky Friday that summer night? And now we have a title sponsor. Blah, blah, blah. Well, there are definite service groups that fit the bill for
Yeah.
music downtown.
I guess what I'm kind of hinting at too is that we do reach out to our members first before we bring in the outside corporate shingles.
And I have never once said that I'm
No, I'm
speaking to people outside of the,
But when we say
Right.
service groups, I'm just a little confused on that, please.
yep. And we've got them, we've got banks, we've got
Yep.
all these places downtown that, and if you got somebody that thinks that you could go to and get $2,000 from them, by all means, my
It's up
friend.
to two.
Hey?
It's up to two.
Well, no, that's what it's always been.
Understood.
Can we get away on eight weeks?
And I know
for
that's
less
the- I
than
know that's
two?
the
Yes,
easy
we
way
can,
to-
but it's $2,000 just to be the easy hard number.
But that right now could be a hard sell. So to John's point, I like the idea of like this week brought to
Yeah.
you by Haven Salon, or this week brought to you
And
by
that's-
Sun
yeah.
Life. So
Yeah.
it's a fallback plan then maybe, because to write a check right now for that amount. I can't do it.
So what, do we have a, like a timeline in terms like of a deadline that if we don't, achieve your objective by within a month, that we go out to,
Oh, well, that's, yeah, I need, honestly, I wouldn't want to go a month,
okay.
right? Because at some point it gets down to time.
Yeah.
And, we don't want to be in this spot, but
Mm.
here I am.
Yeah, I'd like to be starting to,
Set some dates.
and get some map or some posters out, or like just get it
Mm.
advertised at
Mhm.
least, right? And
I'm
then,
there.
and then when the people are doing, like sponsoring this much money, they need to get some recognition and
Yes.
enough time.
Let's go over to, yeah.
So,
Through you, Mr. Chair, I would recommend putting together a little bit of a list of what those benefits would be for that sponsorship, right? Like, is it so many social media posts? Is it a sign at the square the day of? Those are really beneficial to get sponsors on. I know we're dealing with some of that right now. So just a thought,
Yeah, I was waiting on some pieces,
Mhm.
because when I went out and got all these contacts, then it was, I wanted to kind of get on to trying to give them something to just be the that summer night or Freaky Friday sponsors. That's where my head is at, right? Hang on a second. And so then we start hearing about how the town's putting these pieces together, that there's a sponsorship package. Great. So let's align with what the town is doing.
we
Hey.
won't have that done though.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not hearing that. What I'm hearing is that the town is putting it together. So we're holding tight. Okay, that's great. So that's fine. Wanda's then instructed me to say, well, look, we don't have that sitting here. We've waited this long, not to this point, don't get me wrong, right? But it wasn't,
Just for clarity, that's our goal by the end of 2026
okay,
or 2025, sorry, for 2026.
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect, so, like, let's be honest, so everything that we get to, it's all gonna be about timing and communication. That's all it gets down to. So, totally agree, right? And this isn't something that is very hard to put together. We had some pretty easy, hey, that sounds really good. Hey, that fits with what we're doing, right? But I'm there. We're at a spot where we have to either say, by the end of next week, if we've got somebody, phenomenal. Or at least can we continue the conversation? If not, we're gonna need to pivot. I'm totally there, right? Because we can't come back to this one saying, okay, we've gone through a month and we don't have the full guy. I get it. Does anybody have somebody that they think that they can go and get the first two?
Personally, I wouldn't, but my member company would be proud to sponsor one of these.
Well, and that's not the point, right? Because Sun Life can do it too, right? And we,
Yeah, and the sooner we can nail this down, then we can go and sell. Right now, I have nothing to sell, so I'm not even gonna knock on a door. So once we get this in place, and yeah, I'll be more than happy to go out and that, the fact that we need the members to get a little bit of lead time too, because if this is happening, and I believe it's Friday nights, then we're gonna wanna push them to be open, right? And so there's some planning
Yeah.
to put in scheduling to get in place. So yeah, again, we need that critical sort of path to be cemented so we can get it done, so. I think it's a great opportunity, to be honest with you.
Definitely.
I'm excited about it.
We'll work on that letter that we can get out.
Sorry, if I may, are these being
I'm working
divided
on
into
it.
individual
Yeah.
opportunities? Or is it
FYI.
an overall that we're looking for, just the
Thank you.
one?
John wanted to speak.
I just want to confirm, Chair, do we have a sponsorship policy or bylaw right now? Because what we don't want to get into, and I think the town had that before, where there's favorites being played. So it's something we need to look at then. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm just want to make sure before
yeah,
we go down.
and-
We may not have that in time to
Yeah.
what we're doing. I get that, but that's something we can work at as we're moving forward with everything too.
And
Yeah.
Councilman, I've uttered those words here before,
Okay,
because that's what I thought we were gonna get into.
yeah.
Because like, look, it's RBC, right? Like, I've made a connection there and it makes sense for them because RBC gets into, Blues Fest, but it makes some sense for at least the dynamic here, right? But what about Pizza Hut? Pizza Hut would have given you $3,000 to do it, right? Or Canadian Tire would have given you $5,000 to do it.
Remember.
Right? And so to that point, we have all these policies and procedures now. We can't just go and say, oh, well, Ben's the chair, he's willing to write $2,000, and I got co-op over here, right? Or Edwards Jones banging on the door going, give me an opportunity.
Be a great problem.
Yes, yes, but if we don't have the policies in place, then that can still continue. So that was my concern. I wanted to have that in place first so that I knew what we were getting into. But now we're just getting down to the end of it and say, okay, we'll just make the call.
I think Jennifer's been making some recommendations. I've seen some
Oh, my goodness.
pop up.
Sorry, I didn't even know that you were, okay, well, my friend, please. If you've got
Hello.
some input.
Just a bit, actually. Can you hear me
Might be on
okay?
mute.
I don't know if I'm muted here. Let me just see.
The volume's muted on down in the bottom right there.
Ah.
I think the
I know,
owl,
I haven't seen one of those.
no, because
My
the owl
parents used
takes
to-
over, so it just does that.
Aw.
We went through this with Carolyn that time.
Is there,
That's
is there
okay.
power plugged in? Because I've got this one.
No, because the owl takes over. But you're gonna get echo.
It's not it.
Can you hear me?
Turn that on.
No,
I've got this at the office where if I've got the
Sorry,
power
Dan.
plugged in.
If you can hear me okay, but that's fine.
I don't understand the setup.
Go ahead.
So in the meantime,
Yeah.
the policy or the bylaw won't be in place.
Yep, so we're just going.
No, but and to be for fairness and transparency and all that sort of stuff, why don't we send out an email to our email base to everyone? We're looking at options. One is for the full summer One is maybe for, in 1 month blocks, it's 2 positions, or one for weeklies. Just put it out there and see the feedback we get. At least we put it out to everyone to get back to us. So maybe that's something we could do sooner rather than later as we're trying to sort everything else out. So I think that would be a fair way of trying it until we get the policy procedure.
And that would be the same avenue
Jennifer saying
that
she could
we
do
would
it.
take for the awareness boards too, just
Some
put it out
yeah,
there and just see who's
Yeah.
interested,
Yeah.
take that the opportunity,
Yeah.
and then we can be a little more.
We're not just making decisions at the table, but
Yeah.
we're trying to get some feedback in.
Yeah. And through you, Mr. Chair.
Perfect.
also
I
here.
appreciate that.
There we go.
If you want to put that together for us and send it off to Wanda,
That's
I just passed the bar.
you're hired. That's great.
For free.
Well, there's
That's what I like. Done. Okay, any other questions to this?
Through you, Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
I can offer the town of Renfrew's policy. So we just had a sponsorship and advertising policy that was approved by council in the fall.
Okay.
So I'd be happy to share that with Wanda,
Good.
and you folks can use, you know, what you'd like out of that as well.
Yeah, good. Yeah, just as a template move
Yeah.
for right now. That's great. Okay, Wanda, show your love.
So we just completed the Show Your Love promotion. On average, we had about 75 receipts a week sent in. They had to have a $10 minimum spend. 95% of the receipts were over a $20 to $25 spend. But at $10, that would work out to $7,500 over the 10 weeks. If we look at the 95% of the receipts were over $20, that works out to about $4,240 a week that receipts were sent in that were used downtown. I did have a lady who had sent me in receipts for like Walmart and No Frills, and I emailed her back explaining our boundaries. And then every week after that, every receipt was for downtown. So instead of going to No Frills, wherever, she came down to Metro, Sense Country, pick a fence, that. So it proves that it actually works. Suggestions for next year would be raising the receipt limit to maybe $20 to $25.
Mhm.
And then I think we need to also look at another procedure. Winners can only win so we pick 2 winners a week. That winner can only win once in that week, as opposed to, we did have 1 winner that won twice in the week, won both in that same week.
Mm.
So it'll be fine tuning some procedures and stuff for that, I think.
Great. Yeah, Councilman.
Yeah, Wanda, were you happy with what you saw in terms of the data coming in?
Mm.
That's our first year, right? Like in terms of-
No,
or
this
that,
is our 3rd.
Well-
and we've been tracking all,
This is
Oh,
the first year with
well-
yeah, with Hello. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's a good baseline to have as we move forward.
And
Right.
every one of the vouchers given was activated. So,
Okay.
Question for you, Wanda.
Hmm.
So how many people have we touched base with? Because like, we're definitely gonna be getting people, like, of those 75, it's not 75. Is it 30? Is it 50? Is it 15? How 75 entries a week, how many people is it?
I'd have to go back and look
Roughly.
that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It
That's actually-
probably 60.
Jesus. Amazing. That's great.
6 individual people.
55 to 60.
Yeah.
Individual?
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. That's great. Okay, cool. Thank you. Any other questions for Wanda? No. Okay, new business, support local market. Wanda, is that you?
Well, it's gonna be me, and then I think Lisa's gonna take over. So I was kind of sitting brainstorming, and every town page I'm on, every BIA has a market. Whether it's a night market, a Saturday market, a Sunday market, a weekday market. Why do we not have a market? So I spoke to Lisa.
Yes, okay, and through your chair. I have a friend who has a business in another town, but she attends a number of the markets throughout the Ottawa Valley, so. I met with her and had coffee and picked her brain, all the feedback is that it's like, yeah, this is a great thing to do. Some markets do it better than others, for sure. And I got some tips from her regarding that. But what I'd like to see happen at this point, and it's not gonna be of any cost to our board, but to run a market during the Music in the Park on Friday nights, start on Railway and charge a nominal fee. And that was some advice that I received from my friend, was that if you don't charge a fee, you're not gonna get basically serious and legitimate businesses wanting to participate. She gave me a list of contacts of different farms and produce sellers that attend many of the markets she's at and seem to be very successful there, and they're all within the Ottawa Valley at this point. Some of them even more local than that to Renfrew. And that was the thought, is take advantage and create something in addition on the Friday nights. We're trying to entice people to be open. We're trying to entice traffic downtown. It'll take the traffic from the park to our downtown core. And give our patrons another opportunity and a reason for coming to our town on a Friday night. So, and if to start small, running in conjunction with the Music in the Square. And then that way, it's not a hard sell maybe necessarily to get everyone on board. But if it ends up being successful, like the sky's the limit. We could start opening May 1st or long weekend in May, keep it open till Thanksgiving. Even at this, with this 8 weeks, if it is successful, we target a Thanksgiving market, we target a Christmas market. So just make a few specialty markets throughout the year with the same premise, and as it expands, you know, certainly there could be a larger fee. And another recommendation was that some of the communities that she sees being very successful is that they actually have a local tent for local service organizations that are set up within the market. So it could be the chamber, it could be us there with our bags and our magnets and that sort of thing. So our summer student could be there promoting the BIA on a Friday night. It could be, you know, the food bank or what have you. So that would be probably a non-fee where we wouldn't charge for that one, but just bringing the community together. So.
Great idea.
Yeah, I like it working in conjunction with the music.
I have a friend that does the Bernstown one, and
On Friday.
yeah, and what he says is that, now I'm not sure what time we'd be thinking for this, Lisa.
They're during the day, aren't they? I
Well,
think I've been
yeah,
there.
but they're getting the traffic going to the cottage, right? So it's
Yes.
4:30, they're stopping and getting their corn, they're getting their fresh vegetables, so this is, I mean, perfect.
Just out of curiosity, what fee you think?
Well,
Not a big money maker.
she recommended like a $25 fee.
Yeah.
That would be enticing enough that people would say, oh, well, I can afford that.
Yeah,
But on the other hand, it does make it sort of, yeah, you've got to show up. It's not just, you're not gonna, and that's what she was saying, is like the committed businesses and the legitimate businesses would want to see a fee, because they don't want just every Tom, Dick and Harry showing up. Because they're running a business as well. So, and now she did say some of the fees run up to say $100 each time. But
Depending on the location.
depending on the location, and I said, well, it must have been a busy market. She said, actually, no, the one that charged me the most wasn't the busiest. And probably that's an indication as to why, is because the
Right.
fee was too high.
Yeah, awesome. Square.
Okay, so Mel asked me to look into some service providers and stuff, because with advertising with the boards and the map, people are looking to pay us. We don't have an option to take in money other than an e-transfer, and not everybody has a big, there's a certain amount for e-transfers. So I looked into Square, which I'm sure everyone's seen one. They're just the little wee readers, and it is portable because it would hook up to the phone, and it's $69 to purchase it, and then you don't pay if it's not used. So you only pay on the transactions, and it's 2.5% on all major credit cards and 0.75% plus 7 cents on any Interact chip or pin if you use it. So it would be the same one that the chamber has as well right now, but it would allow us when people are coming in to purchase the Hello vouchers, we wouldn't have to put it on our credit card. They'd be able to go ahead and pay. Now, I still have to confirm with the bank because we're a two-signer account that we can actually use this. But it's here just to see whether you want me to move forward with it or.
The thing I like about it is that there's no fees other than a transaction. So there's no monthly maintenance fee, there's no upgrade fees. If you pay $69, you get the unit. We take it with us wherever we go on events. People even come in and buying stuff that in here. Not everybody has cash and not everybody's got a check in their wallet or the ability to do the transfer. So we're kind of just taking that next step as far as the evolution of finance or commerce. So thanks, Juan, for getting that information. And
Any other questions about it? Mel, do you want to put a motion on it?
with that amount, I don't think we falls within our, but I will, I got a motion on the table to purchase the square service. All those in favor?
Yeah,
Thank you.
green grass. Sounds good. The app. You and I have had just a very off the cuff. So I had great interactions with some new local people to Renfrew. And their whole thing is how much they love the B City app that the town has. Their whole piece was on a water main. They got the information to them instantly. Yada, yada. When we are looking at our current social media aspect, we could be 3 days behind. We could even just be 3 hours. Hey, well, that would have been pretty cool to be at. We do our best to get the word out about a program, and there's always somebody. I didn't know this was going on. We saw that last year with the Bhutan festival. Everybody drove past it. 90% of people had no idea that it was even here, and 10 were like, it was flooding my social media. So taking the aspect of how instant this app is and how our programs are working, I did approach Hannah let's not reinvent the wheel here. Now Hannah's point, we can't just turn around and just have the BIA link. On the app, it says, here's a section of what's happening in Renfrew or what's happening downtown. And you're going to hit that link and it brings you to my webpage. It's been instructed to me that how simple it sounds, can't happen. However, when we are going to have things and we're planning ahead of time, maybe it's something that we can just make sure that we're meeting here. We've got the social media page, the communication, and we're picking, okay, on Tuesday, the whatever, it gets pushed. And it gets pushed to everybody on that app to make sure that message got out. We can start putting some pieces together for Hello, but this is really, do you want instant Renfrew, what's happening here in town? Get the B City app so that you are up to snuff. Have you ever seen a Facebook page or a post that was 3 days behind and you thought, man, I would have liked to go to that? Well, have this and you'll get all the information.
Yeah, through you, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
So on our app, we have a community events section of the app that allows upcoming events. It's mostly kind of Renfrew events because that's what we put in, but certainly BIA would fall under that to be in that as well. And then on top of that, what we would likely do for events that the town partners with, and we already do for most of them, is we do send out the notification. So like the Freaky Friday, we do send out the notification for all the app subscribers. Music in the Park would probably be one as well. And people who have subscribed will get those instant notifications to their phone. The app has definitely been growing. It was new when I started here in May, and so it's great to hear that feedback. Because it is a super beneficial resource that we're trying to get people to register for. So certainly there'd be a great partnership, with us continuing to share that BIA information. You folks, will ensure that, when your events, are shared with us, we can ensure that they're in our community events section, which is right on the app. And in turn, we appreciate you folks helping us share the word to get people registered for the app as well. Yeah. And if you don't have it, I suggest you download it. It's a great resource. Yeah.
That sounds, this is new to me.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about this.
I actually didn't know anything about it until I started here. Rudy, prior to me, he really felt passionate about this app and that many municipalities were moving towards it. And he was right. There are many, across Ontario that have, I've registered for a few of them actually, just like Castleman. I registered, like, I don't live in Castleman, but I'm just interested to see the alerts that they have going through. And it's a good mix of like water main break, FYI, but also here's an upcoming event that you might be interested in, right? So it is quite valuable.
Is there something available, like, a link you can like share with us that we can click?
Yes.
So that people can click on, that we can share in our social
Absolutely.
media, that take people to go download the app.
Definitely, and we have been sharing in the past. We always have it on our newsletter as well. But I have, which I can share with Wanda again. We have like printed off ones as well with the QR codes on them, so that like, for example, when we're going to be at the home show coming up in May, I'm definitely going to be bringing those with us so that people can scan it and download the app immediately, and I can kind of help them through it to get them. Very easy. Once you get the app, you literally just download the app, pick town of Renfrew, and make your login, and then you're kind of good to go. So yeah. No, I'll get for it.
How is it B, like B?
It's BCITI plus.
It's pretty straightforward.
It is.
Yeah, it's very, very sharp once you get it, and you can actually register depending on how you like to receive your information. So it gives you an option of email or text. So like for me, I choose email. That's it. Yeah. I choose email. But like you can also register for text. Like if you're somebody who wants those notifications going right to your phone for text, you can also register that way as well. If you are somebody who maybe needs to hear it, you can also choose the screen reader option. So we'll actually read out the message for you as well, if that's what you prefer. So yeah, it's a great tool.
Just through you, Chair, Jen just asked the question, how's the app being advertised?
Yeah, so the app has been advertised pretty steadily. We advertise it every month on our newsletter. We continue to advertise it on the Chamber and the BIA newsletters as well. We continue to post it on our social media. We did a whole page feature of it, or half page, I should say, feature of it in the Eganville Leader as well, which was very beneficial. I noticed we got because we had the QR code right in the Leader ad, so people could scan it. We did get a big uptake after that ad. So we're continuing to promote in those types of ways, mostly through social media now. And through our newsletters and that sort of stuff. The home show is another thing. Anywhere where we're anywhere where there's people going to be dropping in and learning about town stuff, I'm trying to have that available to help them download the app kind of right on the spot. So we're going to continue with those, and we appreciate the BIA and the Chamber, of course, helping us with all those advertising efforts.
Well, we appreciate the town taking
Taking
the time and selling our gift cards at the home show. So yeah, Eddie, just for some clarification, when they go onto the app and there's the community calendar, and Friday the 29th is going to be Freaky Friday. So they're going to be able to click on that.
Correct.
Now, through the limitations that what can we do?
So basically how it works is any event that's being registered, whether it's a community event or a town event, Carrie from the Parks and Recs team, she adds all that to the community events calendar on our webpage.
Okay.
Our app is directly linked to our webpage.
Okay.
So like Freaky Friday, for example, when we had that on as a community event page, the image would be showing what the Freaky Friday, the date. You would click on it, it would go directly to wherever we direct it to go,
Mhm.
right?
Okay.
So if the main event page is on the BIA webpage, it would be inadvertently sent to our webpage, but it links directly there, so people aren't having to click 7 times. But it goes directly to our events page, which is linked to wherever we choose to link it to. Yeah, yeah. So like, for example, the wrestling, there's the provincial, or I think it's national wrestling is coming to Renfrew. And they reached out to say like, can we have this on your community event page? And absolutely. And it will automatically be on our app because it's on our webpage, community events page. It's all linked. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I misunderstood.
Yeah.
So we can then have, they're gonna be on the app. They can at least go to our information.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, and our preference is that we're not linking them to like a general, like the BIA webpage. We really want it to be event specific so that they're able to see time, date, info, right?
Sure.
So that's kind of the benefit of the app, I guess.
Jennifer
You could-
posed a question, and that's a
Yeah.
really good one. If there's a link on the event to add it automatically to your calendar
Yes,
on your phone, okay,
yeah. From
yeah.
the,
You know,
I don't
when you get
know.
an event on your phone.
That's a great
and
idea.
You can save it to your
click on
calendar.
Yeah, I should see if that's actually a feature.
Because a lot of services,
Yeah.
if you order, a spa service or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they send you the confirmation, you just click on the date and it goes, you can choose to put it to your phone.
Mhm.
right
Yeah,
away,
yeah, yeah.
Which would be great for.
It's the same for these meetings.
I was
Yeah.
totally confused.
She can help.
Okay.
Here's my phone,
Right.
here's my dates and things.
Yeah, that would be great, Jennifer. I know that, we had looked into this for something else in regards to meetings, and it was very Google and Microsoft specific. So like if you had Google, you were able to do it, but if you use like, Outlook, you weren't. So, yeah, let me know if you find anything additional. That'd be great.
There's some really good context here, and this is also just where it gets down to, you'll hear me talk about boots for volunteers, but then you'll hear me talk about share a voice. And that's just us making sure people are aware of who we are, and what we're doing. And, here, we see it, not everyone has the information. There's a councilman that doesn't have the app, right? Well, no, I'm calling for how it is, right? But is that,
This on YouTube.
Yeah.
is that a negative? No, this is a great opportunity then to talk about it, right? Here we go. And we've got partnerships that, well, if you can help us out, then yeah, every event, we're looking to have our tent set up. Why isn't the town at that summer night talking about your thing? And I'll give you a discount. I'll only charge you $500 to bring a tent. So you'll be just fine, Hannah. Okay? I appreciate you. Let's move on to Earth Week as we're crossing the 9 o'clock.
So again, it's Earth Month, and as always, we've adopted our BIA boundaries to get out. Bags and gloves are available here at the town. So just anybody who wants to get out there and start picking up all the garbage and stuff. Reminder.
I know last year we had kind of picked a week and then we all kind of went, or at least communicated where we were kind of going. Maybe we can kind of do a little bit of that, or do we want to go out on a Saturday together or a Sunday? Yeah, I think, you know what I mean, like, I think, or you just want to take some photos of yourselves. I think if we had some sort of visual that we could then post back, right? Do we want to kind of leave it individual and we'll send something, or do you guys want to
We can pick it, that's fine.
plan?
Yeah,
Yeah, like,
Sunday, anyway.
yeah, like a Sunday afternoon and then go grab a beer somewhere. Like, I like that idea. know, it's a bit of a team build on cleaning up the downtown and then,
I think it's a good feel-good thing and
Sure.
social media post and.
sure. Well, here, we'll table it and we'll circle back to find some time there for it.
Yeah,
But,
maybe one to consider, maybe.
Yeah. Yipper, continue on then with new business, our new member.
So Jen Laverne from Keep Connected has put her name forward to come on to the board on March 19th. I literally just found out on Friday, which is your revised agenda. So we have to pass, you have to approve it and pass it as a board. Then it will go to council, and they will have to do a new appointment bylaw. And then that won't go till May 13th to the council, because I have to get Carol in the minutes of this meeting to show that it was approved by the board. So you will need a motion to approve, to accept Jen.
Who wishes to, yep,
That was easy.
so, yeah, so that'll be Councilman McDonald and Lisa and all in favor. Jen, first and foremost, I do apologize for not acknowledging you at the beginning of this meeting.
That's okay.
Technology is great. I didn't see you there, so please know that, you know, it looks like we'll just kind of go through some of the hoops to make sure that you're fully on, yada, yada, but we're gonna treat you as if you are fully on and use you right straight away, okay? On behalf of everyone, I know I can speak this, thank you for volunteering and answering the call. Okay,
Absolutely.
and then we'll put you on the spot to tell us all about you when you're able to connect with us, either here in person or next time when we get the audio working, okay? So look forward to what you're gonna help us with the music stuff and what you were talking about there with Hannah. So if there's anything that you need, I'm at the Sunlight office. You know how to get a hold of Wanda. Welcome. Thanks for hopping onto the team. Anything else that's just kind of little bits?
She posted some stuff with
Oh.
regard to.
Oh, that's okay.
Like a competition where most bags filled,
Okay,
post a picture.
Oh,
on
for
social
the-
media.
yeah,
Earth Week
Yeah,
month.
just on that, yeah.
okay, very, very good.
Want a
Very
beer with Dan?
We're-
I
Yes,
just got confirmation on Friday that our summer student for a digital content creator has been approved. So I was already talking with Jen down in HR for the town. So we'll be on that this week.
that's phenomenal. What would be a basic start time, do you think, for like June?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
probably by the time we get it out and advertise and
Yep.
interview.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, I guess it's 9:06. We'll call the meeting, and I appreciate everyone for showing up before I did. Thank you.
Thanks, Jen.
Thanks, Jen. Have a good week.